beat Larry Holmes. I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody.
So Joe Rogan just warned Jake Paul to quit his upcoming Mike Tyson fight. Yeah, Joe didn't hold back. When he gave his brutal take on Jake facing Mike, he's warning Jake to step out of the fight because straight up Rogan doesn't believe Jake's ready to hang with a real legend like Iron Mike. And let's be real, Rogan's got his reasons. He's known for his harsh takes. And this time he's making it clear Mike Tyson is not the guy you want to mess around with if you're still getting your feet wet in the boxing world. Rogan's been watching the fight game for years, and he knows Jake had some impressive wins, but let's face it, Mike Tyson is a different breed. This isn't some YouTuber boxing match or a retired MMA guy stepping into the ring. Tyson is a beast, even in his 50s, and Rogan believes Jake's skills aren't anywhere near the level needed to take Tyson down or even survive in the ring with him. Rogan's basically saying, yo, look, Jake, you might be good, but Tyson's still terrifying, and you're not ready for this. He's seen Tyson's power, and it's the kind of thing that can change a career in one punch. So Rogan's advice: step back before things go south, and maybe, just maybe, avoid getting wrecked by one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not going to make it.
Let's break it down. All right, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are officially set to step into the ring on November 15th, 2024, in what's shaping up to be one of the most talked about boxing matches of the year. The hype is through the roof, and it's going down at the AT&T Arena in Arlington, Texas. Fans from all over are buzzing, debating whether Jake can pull off the impossible and go toe-to-toe with one of the greatest heavyweight legends of all time. It's a clash that has the sports world on the edge of their seats, with tickets selling out in minutes and social media absolutely blowing up. Everyone's talking about it, from boxing purists to casual fans. Music. But here's the thing, while everyone's hyped for this showdown, Joe Rogan's over here waving the red flag, saying, hold up, Jake, this might not be the move. Rogan's not just throwing out empty warnings, either he genuinely believes Jake Paul shouldn't take this chance, and he's not the type to sugarcoat his opinions. He's seen this fight as a huge gamble for Jake, and the risks, let's just say, they're colossal for Jake. This fight is a massive make-it-or-break-it moment in his boxing career. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Jake wins or even just survives all the rounds, he's going to skyrocket to a new level of respect in the boxing world. But if he gets destroyed, it could be the beginning of the end for Jake Paul. As a serious boxer, Rogan has always been pretty clear about his stance on Jake Paul's career. So far, he's given Jake credit where it's due, acknowledging that the YouTuber-turned-boxer has put in serious work to improve his skills, and yeah, knocking out former UFC fighters and stepping into the ring with experienced athletes is impressive. But there's a huge difference between knocking out an ex-UFC fighter and taking on one of the most feared heavyweights in boxing history. Rogan's not convinced that Jake earned the stripes to be facing someone like Tyson just yet. In Rogan's eyes, Jake's status as a legit boxer isn't cemented, and going against Tyson right now is just too risky. Why? Because, as Joe bluntly put it, Tyson's going to send Jake crashing onto the canvas in no time. Tyson might be in his 50s, but Rogan knows firsthand that Mike still packs a punch that can end a fight in an instant. This isn't a fight where Jake can dance around the ring and hope to wear out his opponent. Tyson's got decades of experience, not to mention that infamous knockout power that still haunts anyone who's ever seen his highlights. Rogan straight up said that this isn't the fight for Jake to be experimenting with, and he's got every reason to be concerned. Rogan's watched guys with way more experience than Jake Paul crumble under Tyson's fists, and he believes Jake's skills just can't take Tyson down or even hold up against him for too long.
Time when he's talking about walking into the ring, that as he steps in the ring, like all the nervousness, all the things he's going through, he says, and that as his confidence builds, as he gets towards the ring and he steps through the ropes, I'm like, God. When he says that, I'm like, holy shit.
The closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, oh God, no one can beat me.
But you could see it in Tyson's face when he's staring him down. There's this crazy, he's following him everywhere he goes, like a predator, dude. It's like a predator who can't wait to get the green light to let the genie out of the bottle.
I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. I can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his arm, boom, one of his eyes may move, then I know I have him.
Let's be real for a second. Joe Rogan is the voice of combat sports, whether it's UFC or boxing. When Joe Rogan speaks, people listen. His opinions aren't taken lightly by fans or fighters. The guy's been around the fight world for decades, and he's not known for mincing words. So when Rogan goes on his podcast and tells Jake Paul to reconsider this fight, fans don't just take his words as grains of salt. He's respected in the game, and his insights are based on years of experience and analysis. It's not about hating on Jake. It's about genuinely looking out for him. On his podcast, Rogan made it clear that he's really looking out for Jake, who in his words is basically preparing for his own funeral. If he steps into the ring with Tyson, that's the level of concern Rogan, as he's seen what happens to fighters who underestimate their opponents. And he's worried Jake's doing just that. Rogan's got mad respect for Jake's hustle, but he knows this fight could do serious damage, not just to Jake's career, but also to his health. One wrong punch from Tyson, and it's lights out. Get this, Rogan's concern isn't just about this fight, though. He knows that if Jake gets wrecked by Tyson, it could put a massive dent in his boxing future. Right now, Jake's built a brand on being the underdog who's always proving people wrong. But what happens if he takes an all that's too big to bounce back from? Rogan sees the long-term impact of this fight, both for Jake's career and for his reputation. If Jake goes down hard, it's going to be hard for him to convince fans and critics alike that he's serious about boxing. It's one thing to take a loss, but it's a whole other thing to get demolished by a boxing legend. And let's not forget, boxing isn't like other sports where you can just shake off a bad game and come back next season. One bad fight can leave lasting physical and mental scars. Rogan's seen it happen time and time again, and that's why he's so vocal about warning Jake to think twice before stepping into the ring with Tyson. He doesn't want to see Jake's promising career cut short by a fight that he believes Jake isn't ready for. For Jake, this fight is the ultimate test. He's got a lot riding on it: his credibility, his future in boxing, and even his health. And while Jake thrives on proving his haters wrong, Rogan's advice isn't coming from a place of doubt. It's coming from experience. Rogan's been around long enough to know that boxing is no joke, and taking on a beast like Mike Tyson is a whole different level of risk. Now, it's wild to think that Jake Paul is ready to throw it all away after everything it took to get to this point in his boxing career. Let's be real, Jake didn't just stumble into the boxing world. He wasn't born into a family of fighters or working the gloves from a young age. He built his entire persona from being a YouTube sensation only to flip the script and become an athlete overnight. His journey from internet star to alleged boxer is something no one saw coming. Jake's first fight back in 2018 against fellow YouTuber Dai was the spark that started it all. It wasn't the most polished fight, but it was enough to get people talking, and more importantly, it got Jake hooked. From there, Jake continued to grind, taking on tougher and tougher opponents. After day, Jake fought NBA star Nate Robinson in 2020, a fight that ended with one of the most meme-worthy knockouts ever. That KO put Jake on the map. People started to take notice, but not everyone was convinced. They still saw him as a YouTuber dabbling in boxing. But Jake wasn't just playing around, he was serious, and his next fight proved that Jake's big step up came when he fought former MMA champion Ben Askren in 2021. A lot of people thought this would be Jake's first real test, but Jake shocked the world by knocking Askren out in the first round. This win was a huge moment for Jake, but the doubters still weren't convinced. They said, sure, you can knock out an MMA fighter, but what about a real boxer? That question finally got answered when Jake fought Tommy Fury